Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Wednesday's Talking Town. It's, of course, our Matchday preview. I am your host, The Gov, looking forward to discussing all things Ipswich Town as we build up to Rotherham away, live on Sky this Friday evening. As always, we can't do this show without your participation, so get active in our live chat. Get your comments flying in, please, as many of you are already doing so, whether you're brand new here or not. If you haven't yet done so, hit the subscribe button. We're under or around the 100 mark towards 5,000 subscribers. So hit the subscribe button. Let's get to 5,000 as quickly as we possibly can. We've got AD here who says, good evening, everyone. Just returned from a great holiday in Kenya. Was able to wear my town shirt with pride. Some of the locals wanted to know more about Ipswich Town. Well, hopefully from Friday, the world will know a lot more about Ipswich Town as we're obviously live on Sky, to the globe, to the universe. Kieran McKenna ball coming, flying at people. Nick says Rotherham, Paul Lambert first win. Wasn't it at Portman Road? I don't know if he actually won that game or not. I do remember a very average Town side getting beat comprehensively 2-0 by Rotherham. It was the most one-sided 2-0 I think I've ever probably seen. Jack says strange game for Sky to choose. But hey, it's a game live on Sky and a chance for the nation to see our wonderful football team. As always, if you do want to support the platform, and you can do so by hitting the join button on YouTube or heading to our Ko-Fi $4.99, cancel at any point, get behind the platform that's for the fans, by the fans, gives everyone a voice, does Talking Town. Right, joining me in my endeavour this evening is this man, Mr. Richard Moss. Richard, how are you, sir?
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Gov. I'm good, thanks.
You are rivaling Haladki in the hair stakes tonight, looking dapper. Look at that.
Well, I've run out of me normal hair gel, and I had to search in the old little drawer, and there's some wax in there.
Look at that. You put some old VO5 on there. There's some
wax.
Volume. There's
wax
some volume
on, wax off.
Love it. Love it. How has your international break been? Have you had a nice R&R time?
Yeah, watched a bit of cricket, bit of work, bit of reffing.
That wasn't so great, was it, the cricket? But there we go.
No, more games to come. Anyone likes cricket, watch my cricket show we were on last night. Good chat as usual. Good chat as usual, Gov, with the boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Once we got past the gremlins that kicked us off, I will take the blame for that. But gremlins...
I pressed the wrong button.
You were there, and then you weren't there. And then I was like...
No, then I was back within about 10 seconds.
I wasn't dressed, ready to come on a live stream. So I was like, all right.
And Rob's internet, I don't know what was going on with Rob last night. It was dreadful, but we made it through an hour. It was good. So it's also on the audio. Thanks for getting on the audio, Gov. Appreciate it.
No, absolutely not a problem. Obviously, England played last night, and it was a lot like watching Ipswich Town play England because they conceded a goal, but they came back to win the game. They played with style, confidence, freedom. Good performance.
Look, I still see people moaning about the manager. I don't know if Mike's in the chat. He'll be moaning about Southgate till the cows come home. Look,
Southgate, as some call him.
Look, you just have to look at his record. And we've qualified for another tournament. We've got some good players. Look, I think it'll be the end of his reign. Either way, Gov, whatever happens next summer in Germany at the Euros. But I think you've got to be excited because you look at the forward players that we've got, and people probably say he's probably the wrong manager for that team. But look at his record. We got to a final, we got to a semi-final, and Jude Bellingham is an absolute joke. He is a joke. He is quality, and England should be building the team around him and Foden and. There you go. There you go.
Right on cue. There he is.
And anyone dissing Harry Kane, like I tweeted last night, you know nothing about football. One of the best strikers in the world. But look, we'll see what happens in the summer. But we're here to talk town.
You don't? Yeah, absolutely. And rounding off this wonderful team on a wet and blustery Wednesday night. It is grim. It's looking grim for Friday night as well. Is of course the one, the only, the man from Del Monte, Matthew Phillips. Matthew, how are we?
How are we doing? You all right?
Yeah, we're doing all right. You got your name says we are legit. Do you
still legit?
You believe you're still legit? You firmly believe this is a legit group?
Still legit. I'm glad you were talking about England Italy there, because last night, if you're a long-term viewer of this show, I turned £5 into another £5.
Wow. Amazing.
was too good to turn down. It was Harry Kane to have a shot on target and to be fouled in the 90 minutes.
They
I mean,
gave
that's
that
just like,
fair.
let's give him money away, innit?
Let's give you money away, wasn't it? Yes, I thought we'll get on that.
Why didn't you
Yeah,
share that with the rest of us? Like that's
I had to
printed
be quick.
money.
It was like one of them time specific ones just before kickoff or something. You can only get it.
Money. Right. As we sit here on Wednesday, the 18th of October, it is of course head honcho Mark Ashton's birthday today.
Is
so
it?
happy birthday! Yeah, apparently so, according to the social media.
Yeah,
Oh.
52 today, Matt.
Me too.
Older than me, pleasing.
Cooking oil all round.
Yep.
Yeah.
Our time.
Who looks better for their age? Me at 50 or Ashton at 52?
Who's accomplished more? Anyway,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. There's no
not to
denying that.
Not to belittle your FA efforts, obviously. I didn't want to.
He went for
No,
the
it's
FA.
not-
He went for the FA, did he?
Yeah.
Rumor has it.
Once upon a time.
Social
Oh,
media.
It's not
amazing.
it's not being CEO of your favourite football team, is it?
It
That's crazy.
isn't. It isn't. But obviously, a happy birthday to him. First and foremost,
Yeah.
I hear a little whisper on social media. Now, you can't believe everything you read on social media because a lot of it is rubbish. But are there masks, Richard Moss?
There could be masks for Wednesday night at Ashton Gate. There could be a few. Craig Chapman in the chat. He's the boy. He's got a few for us, and he popped the link in. So if any Town fans are going, and we've got more tickets, I think over 3,000 now could be heading down to Bristol on Wednesday, which will be fantastic. And Mark Ashton masks. I think they're about $2.50 a pop. So just a
Where'd you
bit of
buy
fun.
these from? Where'd you buy
There
them?
you go. They have been dispatched.
Have been dispatched.
There
Is
you
Craig
go.
the one
Just-
distributing them?
Craig's put the order in. He's got a few.
Craig.
So
Very good. Very good.
hey, look, it's just a laugh. It's a laugh, isn't it, for the
Essex
Bristol
entrepreneur,
fans?
you see, like Lord
When you-
Sugar.
Well, there you go.
When you can't tout tickets, you tout masks instead.
Ooh, you can't go saying that.
Come on. You
Can't
can't
go
be.
saying that.
There's no rules on masks, Richard Moss.
No, look at this.
You've
Do you remember
got
these
marketing,
days? Do
like-
you remember these days?
Yeah, God, yeah. Magical Vegas, if you're listening. He's not touting them. He's selling them at a retail price
He can tout away. It's masks.
of his own making.
He can tout away. It's masks, mate. It's masks. There's no rules on masks. No, you got to be
Let's
worried.
move on
now.
from the
There's
tout-
no rule
Let's
on
move on from the tout
And
thing.
it's
I think.
nearly Halloween as well. So there you go.
Yeah, absolutely is. But what's been Mr. Not Craig's, because Craig's finest achievement is obviously the show on Sunday. Etsy, he says, by the way, is where he
There
got.
you go.
Oh, don't. That's mad at the moment. Etsy. People in this has found it all of a sudden. It's like, I've spent £30 on Etsy. I'm like, great. Did we want to spend £30 on Etsy? But anyway, sorry.
What's that one he used to talk about? Wish.com. Was that it? Wish.com?
Yeah, wish.com. What is in Ashton's finest moment in the hot seat at Ipswich Town? And you can't say choosing Kieran McKenna because that is an obvious one. It's an obvious one. So what's his finest moment, Mr. Moss?
I told you this morning on the WhatsApp group. Mark Ashton's finest moment for me was sacking Paul Cook.
Yeah,
You know, we were there. We were there at the Barrow game, and Colin was saying,
we were.
what did he say? What were them immortal words that he...
Keep the faith, he said.
Keep the faith,
faith,
he called
Mark.
out to Mark.
Keep the
Ashton,
faith,
yeah.
Mark.
Good old Colin.
About
Ever
2
optimistic,
hours
I love it.
later, 2 hours later,
Yeah.
the news was breaking. He'd just been fired, and Gov was firing up the pod for a Saturday night. And I remember
was?
jumping on. I think, look, no disrespect to Paul Cook, and he's doing a great job at Chesterfield in the National League now, and I think they're top of the league. I think, look, the writing was on the wall. If he probably, that was his first major decision that he had to make, Matt, and he probably, I think when we had him on here, I think McKenna was in the hot seat, but I think he sort of alluded to maybe he should have pulled the trigger earlier, and I think probably the parting of the ways should have been that sort of summer, guys, really, when I think even Paul Cook said that himself, you know, and then we had the 19 signings and then it all didn't work out. And yeah, Barrow at home. Blimey.
Has he muted himself?
I've
Yeah,
muted
he's muted
myself.
himself.
Do apologise. So his
Amateurs.
finest, I know, absolute amateurs. It gets better from here, don't worry. So your finest moment is Mark Ashton ignoring Colin Plum's advice to keep the faith and sack Paul Cook. Matt, your finest moment?
I just want to quickly say, let's give Paul Cook some credit. Christian Walton, Connor Chaplin, Sam
Yeah,
Morsey.
great. We love that.
None of them
Yeah,
would
we
have come
love
to the club without Cookie, would they?
that.
Oh, we'll never know.
that.
That's hypothetical. But he was the pull, I
Yeah.
think. His finest moment, I think, well, one, not listening to me after Bristol Rovers and saying get rid of McKenna. Although if you had stayed around in the stadium for the awards ceremony after Exeter, he said, look, Kieran told me I've keep the faith, Mark, keep the faith. So he was obviously wavering when we were slipped from first down to fourth. But I think probably the signings of Broadhead, George Hurst, I mean, that was the catalyst, wasn't it? To go on the run that, you know, did get us promoted, coincided with Sheffield Wednesday blowing up. I mean, look, even, you know, some of the signings this season might prove to be great, you know, with Ashton fingerprints on Amari, Brandon. You know, we are 8 points clear of third right now.
We are. Very true. Yeah, no, very true.
Even, you see how big now we've become. Even someone who I kind of know in the office where I work came up to me today and said, bloody hell, how much do you think Connor Chaplin would cost? I said, well, we bought him for 800 grand. What would he be now? 8 million?
Fair amount of money. I don't know.
We weren't having these conversations a year ago, let me tell you.
No, 8 mil seems a bit. Is that a bit steep for you? 8 mil?
Five.
This is like Bruce
went for 8, didn't he? But Ellis,
I mean, Ross McCall went for 12 way back when, to be fair.
29 goals in League One, ripping it up.
Yeah.
Although Rich thinks Connor's not had a great start to the season.
Well, they to say that, Matt, I see, I think the Sky Bet Championship, their Twitter feed, put out the team of the season so far. Connor is in it. And who's in goal?
Brilliant.
Our second choice goalkeeper.
The main man.
The man, the myth, the legend. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. My finest moment for Mark Ashton has been that January transfer window. He is still eating off that January transfer window. The club is still thriving off that window. I don't know what strokes he pulled. I don't know how he put it all together the way he did. But, I mean, the word masterclass is often branded about with Ashton, but that truly was a masterclass. You know, Broadhead, Hurst, Massimo. You know, Massimo has to be the biggest gamble that's ever paid off.
Roll of a dice, that, wasn't it?
Arguably ever for this football club, because the guy hadn't played a game for Borough, couldn't stay fit seemingly, and now he's playing 3 games in a week. He's back in the Australian side. Like, this is magic. This is truly magic.
They gave him, you know, they gave him a bit of a chance there, didn't they? Like you say, a bit of a risk, and now look at him flying.
Absolutely
in the Aussie team. Could be going to the Asia Cup.
Already got 44 caps already, Matt. He got for Australia. So
I think for the Ballon d'Or.
Man of the match last night in the game against New Zealand. I think if you look, I think he's a good bet now to probably go to the Asia Cup, I think.
As a squad member, I think. He didn't get any time, did he, against England, but they're a very big team now, aren't they, Australia? I noticed in that England game. Obviously, Burgess.
But huge. First 5
Harry
minutes.
Sauter. He's massive as well.
They remind me, someone said to me, they're sort of Tony Pulis era Stoke, aren't they? Australia. Which I thought was a really good.
Unfair. I thought they could play quite well when they played against England. But no, I thought that window is probably for me his finest moment, because even today we sit here with the riches from
not signing Gassan Hadney.
Or Raheem the Dream Harper.
That's the flip side of the coin, that one, isn't it? The stuff that didn't go so well.
We've all got
them all right.
We've all got them. But we didn't come through the international period quite as unscathed or as jubilant as we would have liked. Obviously, sadly, Wes Burns suffered injury on duty with Wales. Today, McKenna saying...
Dislocation?
Sorry?
Did he dislocate his shoulder? What did he actually do?
I don't actually know what he's done. He's going to see a specialist. If it requires surgery, months. If it doesn't require surgery, weeks. That's the line I'm reading this afternoon. That's a big blow, right, Rich? You're nodding your head there. That's a huge blow, really.
Look, this is. I know what you think about international friendlies. They're playing Gibraltar, but like I said on Sunday, for Wes and his family, you know, it's a massive honour to represent your country, and it's just a shame when you see the fall. It's a bad fall, and you see at the time you think, blimey, that's not looking good. So we just got to keep our fingers crossed, Gov, that it's good news. If it's an operation, when he says months, that's probably getting into what do you reckon, Matt? Probably March time, possibly. I don't know. But then
he's had bad luck, Rich, with the Welsh team, because he had that leg injury, didn't he, that kept him out, like a minor hamstring pull, was it, or something? Dislocation surgeries and huge recovery times, says Kieran Abel. Presumably,
I remember.
My issue is, I know it's a huge honour, but my issue is I didn't realise until you're back in the Championship just how often these international breaks come around.
Another one in November.
And I don't mind them playing actual credible qualification games, despite my theory on the big teams really shouldn't need to qualify at all. But friendly, what does apart from a cap and the honour for the player, what does a management team, what does a nation really glean from playing?
Was Gibraltar a friendly?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's a friendly.
Why would you bother? What are you going to learn from that? Exactly.
They were winning. They were 4-0 up. They were 4-0 up at half time. You're playing at Wrexham, a ground that's only got 3 stands at the minute. I mean,
so what's the point? I'll say it.
Look, we've had this discussion before, haven't we, about internationals, and you just hope when your players go away that they don't get injured, and that's throwing a big spanner in the works with Wes, isn't it? Because he's been probably over the last 2.5 seasons, he's just been so consistent, and you know what you're getting with him, Matt, every single week. And people might say sometimes, his delivery's not good, but every time that Wes goes on that pitch, I'll tell you what I glean from Wes. I don't know if you two have seen it. Do you see his little ritual that he does before every single game? Because he'll do it over your side, Matt, when we're up the North Stand there. He'll go run to the North Stand, applaud them, and then he'll be standing there. No, he's standing there, like looking down, and he's just like, like when a seagull, when they do their feet. They do their feet. They're doing that to get the worms. Did you know that, guys?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
I'm not saying Wes is looking for worms, but he's like doing that with his feet, and he has a little ritual, and then he runs off. I just find it quite fascinating that he's getting himself in that zone. But look, it is a big blow. I don't care what anybody says. I know you got players, and you get injuries, but this is an injury that. It's frustrating, isn't it? Because he's not playing for Town when he's got injured. He's doing it on Welsh duty, and a lot of people will say it's a meaningless friendly, and he could potentially this could be season over if he's dislocated his shoulder and he's got to have surgery and then the road back. Well, it could be. I'm just saying when McKenna, Matt, says months,
Marcus Harness
what
was months. Remember, wasn't Marcus Harness months?
True.
He got injured in the Pappers.
I remember. Do you remember Brian Robson? He always used to have shoulder trouble, didn't he?
Always injured. It went off
Morocco.
In that game. Morocco.
86.
My God. Yeah. Can I tell you a quick Gibraltar FA story? Am I allowed?
Yeah.
I took the Gibraltar press officer once around Wembley for a tour. And so we come to the end of it. He goes, "Oh, that was fantastic. Thanks very much." I said, "How long have you been in media and journalism?" He goes, "Oh, no, I'm not. I'm just helping him out. I'm an optician."
Wow.
So it shows you how small these little nations are. They're like bloody volunteers with international football or something.
Lee says, "Why put Fraser in the middle of our season?" Which I do agree with. But who replaces him, Matt? I mean, we'll get into obviously the team specific a bit later on. But for you right now, how would you go about replacing Wes?
Well, I mean, look, we've always said, haven't we? Wes needs a little bit of competition, but not to the extent where he's actually out of the side. But I mean, I suppose it's going to have to be Amari. Is Shawnee Aluko allowed to play? Was he not in the? Is he not in the championship squad? Does he suddenly get a comeback? Do they find a role for Harness in there somewhere? Don't know. But Amari seems to be the first choice for me. Absolutely, certainly with this wave of form he's been on since that Leeds cameo he had.
Yeah,
could
absolutely.
Do a David Nichols, could do a Black Cave.
Yeah, we've got some Norwich fans in the chat. Welcome in. They've finally decided. Yeah, well, of course they are, because Town are massive, and they want to see what's going on, and secretly come across to the blue and white side. That's what they want to do.
By the way, but for people watching, you might think I'm drinking Guinness, but I'm not. It's the Conor McGregor forged Irish stout. I'm giving it a go. It's not bad. It's all right. He's like, he's a billionaire. He's now a billionaire off the back of this or something. So I've added my £5 in at Asda's. It's the only place you can buy it.
It's a bit hardcore for a Wednesday night for me. I'm going to be honest. I'm on the old.
It's not even that. It's not even that strong. It's like 4%.
I'm on that H2O. H2O.
Yeah.
Kev says every player who comes in for injured. Kev, every player who comes in for injured player steps up to the mark. It's like an honour to play in place. Look at Haladki. Might be in the rain up north. Wouldn't surprise me to see Jackson. Rich, would he be your shout?
I'll go Caden Jackson Friday night. I'll go Rotherham.
Who's quicker, Mario Caden? I'd love to know.
Yeah, it's right what Kieran says there. Burn, he's more of a wing back, and he does do a lot of good defensive duties. Look, I think Amari, he's impressed so far. Does he get a run of games now, or is it just a game by game basis, Matt? You look at the opposition, which Kieran always does. He looks at the opposition and he'll look at their strengths and weaknesses, and that's What's the lad who was at Colchester and went to Lincoln? The left back, Connor Bramall. He plays at
Cohen Bramall. Cohen Bramall. Yeah, that's right.
He plays at left back. We liked him, didn't we?
He's good, him. No,
Lincoln City, by the way, sacked Mark Kennedy tonight. Did we all know that?
Oh, did
Kennedy. I did, yeah.
McCarthy protege.
He's out
They
there.
had Cohen Bramall on one side, Cole, and Kane Vincent Young on the other. That's two pretty good fullbacks. They can stay fit.
Yeah, I'm going Caden. I'm going Caden for Friday, and then we'll see.
I think it will change game to game. I think you're right.
Bart is a serious fan. I personally hope to see more of Dane Scarlett. It was an FN23 wonder kid and has looked good in age group football for Spurs.
Well, the boys went to MK last night. They were on. Archie sent me a picture. He was on Dane Scarlett watch. England under-20s were playing Portugal. They went down there. So
Nice.
they lost 2-1, by the way, England. And he missed a penalty in the game before, Dane Scarlett. So
fair enough. Yeah. Right. You mentioned Rotherham. We are playing Rotherham this weekend. We have got a Rotherham fan joining us shortly.
New York.
It's a great name for a stadium. That I love it.
I love it.
Last time we played Rotherham was 7th of January 2023. Won 4-1 in the FA Cup.
What about in the league? League action. We've not got a great record there. We've lost the last 4. Last 4 games 1-0.
Well, last week featured 16th of April, 1-0 defeat. Smith scored for Rotherham.
Right.
James Norwood missed an absolute sitter that game. Do you remember? From about 3 yards. It was on Sky, wasn't
it? Selena did the push. Was that Baggett playing that game?
Yes, he did. Yeah. Yes, this was the team. Walton, JD, Wolfenden, Baggett, Burns, Backinson, your mate.
Big T. Miss Big T. Yeah, that's Big T.
He's actually in our league, still with Wednesday. So technically a championship player.
At the minute.
Yeah. Morsey, Thompson. Now, when I wrote this down,
Dominic Thompson.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
On loan.
I wrote it off BBC and I was like, all afternoon, Thompson.
He was on loan from Brentford, wasn't he? We had the Brentford fan on that night because he got man of the match in the Premier League against Manchester City, didn't he, when he made his debut for them?
That's right.
And he played for Swindon, was it, in that 3-2 Scott Twine
yes.
game?
Yes.
We liked him, didn't we?
Where's he now?
He was at Blackpool because when I had my Kieran McKenna tattoo done, shout out Yatesy, Dominic Thompson had been in his shop. He'd had some work done. Yatesy done some work on Dominic Thompson. So there you go.
So that's the Thompson.
I was hoping he was going to say he had a Dominic Thompson tattoo, but that had been...
No, unfortunately not. Wasn't what? He's a good defender, but weren't great going forward, was
not ink-worthy.
Lewis says Dominic Thompson was a poor man's Matt Penny.
There you go.
I didn't even remember him. I'm going to be honest. So there you go. Aluko, Selena, and Nord was the final 3 players that day. So
that was the Wolfenden run, Matt. Do you remember that in the second half when he done a amazing run all the way through?
That's right. Very sunny day, wasn't it? I remember this game well, actually. The Selena push.
I don't remember it at all.
Lewis is in Texas.
Lewis, yeah.
I bet it's not raining. I bet it's not lashing down in Texas, is it, Lewis?
What's it like there, Lewis? What's the temperatures?
I imagine it's big because everything's bigger in Texas. It's true. It's just what they say. It's just what they
big
say.
stakes. Yeah.
It was a bit of a partridge moment. Overall head-to-head. Games won, Town 16. Games lost for Town 13. Games drawn 8. So notoriously, while not recently, has been a happy hunting ground for us. Has been a happy fixture. Are you expecting a win heading into this one before I bring in Matt from New York?
Yeah. Did we stick 5 past them? Was that the Daryl Murphy hat trick up there?
Yeah. Don't worry about the Daryl Murphy that day. Just talk about the Jonathan Douglas goal that day. Steals possession, strides forward, and smashes it in the bottom corner from 20 yards. I mean, where was that hiding?
Yeah. Was that 5-2?
Yeah. Yes, it was 5-2. Yeah. Murphy hat trick. Brett Pittman scored as well that day.
What I used to like about Brett Pittman was where he would wear, back when you could have long sleeve shirts.
Long sleeves, yes.
Like Arnold Buren. Love that.
Talking of Adidas last night, Italy wearing Adidas, Matt.
No. I said to Martin, they look like Greece.
Yeah, didn't like it. Where's the Kappa? Get the Kappa back on.
Get the Kappa. 100% agree. Yeah, absolutely. The tight
I remember going to Millmore as well. Gov, I've been to Millmore a couple of times.
Yeah.
And Joe Royal's in charge. I see Martin Butler score a late winner for Rotherham. Do you remember Martin Butler? He used to play for Cambridge as well.
Yeah. Jermaine
lost
Wright
2-1.
scored that worldie there, didn't he? Jermaine Wright
I was
scored
right
that worldie
behind.
there.
Right behind
What's the
that.
goal? I never liked
What an
Jermaine Wright.
assist.
You used to annoy me, but
Assist.
brilliant goal.
Crossfield ball, Matt Richards
Yeah,
on the
it's
volley.
a fantastic goal. That brilliant. Yeah.
So neither of you are worried the international break may have halted
No.
momentum.
It's
No,
Rotherham,
we'll
for
roll
fuck's sake.
these
We're going
over,
Rotherham.
easy money.
We're going to smash them. We're going to smash them up in the rain.
Oh, famous last words. This is
We'll
like my
see.
Lincoln all over again. It's Lincoln. What can go wrong?
They still got Rathbone, or we can ask Matt when he comes in.
They-
Yes,
yeah,
Ollie Rathbone.
Yeah, I like him.
Jordan
He's good.
Hugel. Hugel's there.
You'd never know, do you? Look, we went to Sheffield Wednesday. It was a tight game, wasn't it? But we did roll Rotherham over in the cup, and I think they had a fairly strongish team out that day. Cameron Humphreys was a bit of a shining light, wasn't he?
Josh Russell buzzing for Friday. Another ground ticked off for Josh. Lewis has been working out here for the last 5 weeks. Weather is great.
Wow.
28 today. Highest has been is 39 degrees.
My
Wow.
God, you're wearing a Stetson.
Yeah,
That'd be a Stetson
not-
would suit me. Don't know.
I'm not jealous.
Oh,
I'm just deadly
No.
jealous. 39 degrees. How beautiful. Okay, so neither of you are worried it's going to halt momentum. Is it on Town TV? It's on Sky. We've got a
No.
question in the chat before I bring in Matt.
I don't.
It's on Sky
think
ain't
it-
on Town TV, I don't think.
No, it's not allowed, is it?
Even
No.
with
Unless you're overseas. Dunno.
unless you're overseas, right?
Mm,
Possibly.
UK.
Sky game. Sky game.
But,
Why are they not putting
yeah.
us on against? Why are they just putting us on like against Rotherham? I don't really get that one.
Well,
There's a lot of
interesting
respect.
take, because McKenna did say about more games moving, didn't he, Martin?
Yeah.
He did.
And if you read into that, it's not been announced yet, but he says after the next international break, I think we are an early kickoff, he said. So reading in between the lines there, that's West Brom when they come back after the last break. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was on. You'll be there, won't you, Matt? Come on, Chris will get your ticket.
He thinks he's going to beat us easy. That's what he's told me.
Oh, good. I like overconfidence.
I did say to him, he looks at the table.
There's a little bit of disrespect tonight for Rotherham. I'm a bit nervous about bringing Matt in because
Get him in.
We like Rotherham. We like the Chuckle Brothers.
yeah, who doesn't?
Legends of
To
Rotherham.
you,
Yeah.
to me.
What a great show.
To me,
Get it
to
back
you.
on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally agree.
yeah. All right, we'll bring in Matt. Matt, welcome in. How you doing?
I know, otherwise, how you doing?
We're
How
all
you
right.
doing?
As you heard, the boys are wondering why this game was selected for Sky. Maybe you've got some insight.
Nope.
No idea.
They've got to pick us
Is
for
that-
some game. We've got to put us on for some. So, the longest trip possible, maybe, is other than Plymouth. But you guys travel on a Friday night for some reason.
And I did see that weather forecast. I think it's 90% chance rain in Rotherham. I don't want no funny business, Matt, like that game when you had it abandoned, when the groundsmen were pushing the water back onto the... Who was that against?
Cardiff last year, yeah. I think they're turning
Pushing it-
sprinters on tomorrow morning and just leaving them on
Pushing
until
it back on,
Saturday.
aren't they? Let's get the
One of
water off the
Martin's
pitch.
bugbears,
No, get it back on.
Yeah,
That's
no,
your
I tend
bugbear,
to,
Martin, isn't it? Sprinkling
Yeah.
the pitch when it's been raining.
if I had a word of advice to the Rotherham manager, we turn the sprinklers off and cover the pitch because McKenna clearly doesn't like a bone dry playing surface. Because
For those listening, everyone, Matt has got a superb array of away shirts. Are they third shirts? What are they? They're not a red shirt there, I can see.
Goalkeeper's shirt, the green one.
Green.
That's this season's away shirt. That's
Yeah.
from 90s or something, and that's from early 2000s.
The black and orange one's nice. Top left.
Beautiful.
And what's the yellow one you've got on there?
This is last season's away kit. Second kit.
Oh, any of them got Ladapo on the back?
Surprisingly not.
He won't be there. He's not going to be there Friday. I'm a bit sad.
injured.
Poor
He's
old
injured.
Yeah, it's a shame for you guys because he would have been nailed on to score again against us.
Did you like him then? Did you like him at Rotherham?
Not the way he left. The way he left an extremely sour taste, putting a transfer request in when we're top of the league and coming back and then having to be almost escorted out of the building and not seen since March till the end of the season, something like that. So left a pretty sour taste. He's a useful player. I thought he was a useful player at League One at best. I wasn't sad when he left us, to be honest with you. I don't think he's championship. I only scored a couple of goals for you guys. I wouldn't have wanted him for us again in the championship, but it up to him to prove us all wrong.
Who are your strikers now then, Matt? Who are your strikers up top?
Hugel. Hugel's the main guy. He only scores against former clubs though, so you're probably safe for that on Friday.
Well, he scored a worldie, didn't he, last time out against
did.
Southampton? I mean, where did he get that one from?
No idea. I don't think he knew how he did it.
What a goal that was.
We spent £1 million on Sam Nombe from Exeter, who's not played 90 minutes yet.
He was good for Exeter. He was.
Highly rated. They reckon a lot of him. I think 17 goals last year. He's looked a bit lost. He's not played much, but he's looked a little bit lost so far this season. We do normally play only one up top, so it probably will be Hugo that starts. The thing with Hugo, he's built for games, and because obviously he used to play for Norwich and enjoyed his time at Norwich, I'm hoping that gets him up for another level. Because he does need that sometimes, Hugo. He's a good player, but he needs that motivation sometimes.
What a weird signing that was when he went to West Ham, Matt. Jordan Hugo.
But did we get linked with him once? I'm sure we did.
Possibly.
Yeah.
He's not a bad player. He's not a bad player.
Oh, there you go. Trevor Amos.
Trevor Amos
McCarthy wanted
says
to
it.
sign him.
He would be a McCarthy player, wouldn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
So, Matt, Rotherham, 11 games in, 1 win, 3 draws, 7 defeats. Talk to us about your opening 11 games. What's the mood like in Rotherham and how's it gone? I know it's not gone well, but talk to us about it.
Yeah. It's going in sort of stages. The first game until the international break, there was quite a bit of positivity. We obviously lost the first game quite badly, but after that game, next 4 games, we played really well. We were unlucky not to beat Blackburn other than a dodgy refereeing decision. We would have won the game. We pushed Leicester all the way and we were unlucky not to pick up a point. And we only beat Norwich 2-1, but we really took them apart in the first half at home. So we went into this sort of thinking, we've pushed some really good teams really hard. We beat Norwich, who had won all the games at the time. You're sort of thinking, this is it. We've maybe cracked it a little bit. There's something working here. And then went to Huddersfield and were abysmal, lost 2-0. Went to Millwall, lost 3-0. Drury Preston, lost to somebody else. And that section after the last international break has just been dreadful. We forgot how to defend. Everybody keeps getting injured. It's not been... So we've taken a look at that second part. It's been a poor start because we're in relegation zone. Or is it 6 points, 7 points, whatever it is. But we have got it in us. We have got it in us to turn up and make the very best in this league. It is again Leicester. Really think about things. Are we going to turn up? I mean, there's been some absolute shocking performances so far this season. You never know what you're going to get with us. We could turn up and win 2-0 on Friday. I don't think we will, but we could. We could also go and lose 4-0 on Friday. That's the type of team we are this season, and that's not going to keep you up. We need to find a little bit of form, a little bit of consistency to get enough points. So it is a concerning start, to be honest with you. Pretty big concerning.
Yeah, and obviously you then look at Ipswich and you see the start we've had, and you're a club that have sort of come up and come down and gone up again. And I think the last time we had you on the platform was when you were in League One, and we were saying how you just knew how to get yourselves out of League One, regardless of what the situation was. You'd come down, it'd just be nothing but a bump in the road. You'd be straight back. But now I'm going to ask you the question of what is it like from your perspective, seeing Town come up and make such a phenomenal start to, well, the best start that there has been for many a year?
It's not really surprised, to be honest with you. It's similar with Sunderland last season. Ipswich and Sunderland, those type of clubs that when you finally get out of League One, it'll all be fine. You know, I didn't expect to have as good a start as you have, but I wouldn't.
Apart from Sheffield Wednesday, Matt.
That's funny though, isn't it? We laughed at that.
Yeah,
that's good. I enjoyed that. But at the start of the season, I wouldn't have been surprised to see you do a similar thing to Sunderland and push towards the playoffs. Obviously, whether the form could continue, we will all find out together. But we all know how highly rated Kieran McKenna is from outside of Ipswich. We all know how highly you guys rate him, and the footballing world seems to rate him. So it was never going to be a concern of that you guys were going to be anywhere near relegation battle. Obviously, Plymouth and Wednesday probably will be. But budget's much better. It's much more attractive to go play for a club that's supported as well as Ipswich and things like that. Derby, another example. When Derby get back out of League One, they'll be fine. It's just the type of clubs that you are. We've not got a very big budget. We've got to play to our strengths, which we haven't done this season, but we did do last season. We need somebody with a lot of money to come and invest in us, and then we'll be fine.
You say you haven't played to your strengths this season. What are the Rotherham strengths and what are the Rotherham weaknesses this year? What can Town fans look to be worried about, but also look to try and hope that we exploit? The strengths
so far at home this season have been being aggressive, getting in the press is back. When we play well, the press is very, very good. It's not under Paul Warden previously. It was a erratic press, but it worked in League One. It was very just press. Under Matt Taylor, it's a bit smarter. It's pressing at the right times, trying to put a bit of pressure on in the right areas of the pitch. But it doesn't always work. You know, our defence is an issue. We've got serious injuries. We have one fit centre half, And our second choice centre half is Lee Peltier, who's about 1,000 years old, who'll probably play centre half.
Blimey, he's still playing.
Yeah.
Crikey.
We've got serious injuries. We've got Cameron Frizzle, who you mentioned just a minute ago. He's out till February-ish time with the torn hamstring. Tyler Blackett, who had been brilliant, is out till probably the new year with a hamstring injury. Sean Morrison is back and should be in contention to play on Friday, but hasn't played since the opening day of the season, where he was atrocious. There's no pace in that centre, in that back line. Even with everybody fit, there's not much pace in terms of the centre half pairing. But we've got pace in Coyne Bramall and Dexter and Kisa with the fullbacks as well, so they make up for it a little bit. But if you've got pace, it could. We're going to have to defend deep then, which is then not going to allow us to press, which is then going to cause all sorts of problems for us. I don't know. It's going to be a tough. Well, we've got you guys and then Coventry on Wednesday. We've got a tough couple of games at home. It then opens up our fixture list, opens up a little bit. But these next couple of games are going to be tough to get some out, to be honest with you. I'm not looking forward to it.
No, and you mentioned your team news there. I asked you if your team for this weekend and what you'd expected, and you gave me a 4-3-3, and I've run it past you. I hope it's correct. So, where are every team at this level's got the danger men? Where are your danger men? Where are Town fans got to be wary of on Friday night?
The midfield's particularly good. Cafu came in the summer from Nottingham Forest. He's a little bit of a luxury player, but he gets on the ball and he just makes something happen. He makes the life a little bit exciting. He could do something special and score a stunner from 35 yards, but he can also get himself sent off. He's that type of player, but he is exciting. Rathbone's the engine. He's a sort of 8 out of 10 player every week. He'll run and run and run. He has improved over the last year or so, to be honest with you. He's got much, much better with the ball. I think it's underrated, to be honest with you. If we can get Rathbone making those runs from midfield, that really does help bring Hugill into the game, because Hugill can get really isolated at times. Onyedimna's been great for us at home, particularly. He's on loan from Luton for this season. He's got a bit of pace. He's got a bit of power. He's got a couple of headers, which I didn't think he had in his locker when he signed, to be honest with you. If we start like that, I think that's the press will work. There has been will now be an amendment. Hall, who I said will probably start. He's injured. Another centre half that's injured. So I don't know who's going to cover for him. We're so short on numbers that I don't know what. That then throws a spanner in the works. We could then go to a 3 at the back, and then Coyne Bramall pace covers in there as well. We're so hamstrung by injuries at the minute. I was hoping this is what it would look like, but I don't know now. It could change to a 3-5-2 now, or 3-5-1-1 or whatever the maths works out to be.
So the injury bug hitting you hard at the moment then?
Yeah, we've got, like I said, 3 centre halves that are out injured. We've got 2 central midfielders that are due back this week. We've got 2 strikers that had been injured that are now going to be should be back for this week, but they're sort of second and third choice. At one point we had 9 players out injured. It's just been crippling, and for a club who hasn't got a massive squad anyway, and the squad we have got is maybe not top quality, those injuries have absolutely killed us, and that's a bit of an excuse to why we've had such inconsistency. But we've still got to find a way to find, because every club gets injuries. We've all been there as fans where we've had loads of injury. We haven't dealt with it very well. We don't seem to deal with adversity this season very well, and we're going to deal with quite a lot of adversity this season. We need to find a way to work on that. That's down to Matt Taylor and his coaching team to find out quickly how to deal with that.
Any questions for Matt, please?
Ollie Rathbone.
Rathbone is exactly what I was going to say.
We rated him, Matt.
Rochdale, we liked him.
Yeah, well, I remember when he played at Rochdale. That was one of the games where it was so boring watching Town. I actually fell asleep.
Not in the same room, everybody. We were watching in separate houses. But
what's the Rotherham fans' thoughts on Matt Taylor?
Pretty positive. I mean, after particularly after the Huddersfield 2-0 loss and Millwall 3-0 loss, you then start to get questions, because they weren't just losses; they were dreadful. The Millwall 3-0 loss was one of the worst Rotherham performances I can remember. And he spent money. He spent £1 million on Nombe. He spent 500,000 TI. He was at Wigan last season. He's been backed by the chairman for the first time. First time the chairman's properly backed a manager. So that builds pressure on himself. And for those type of performances to come in, people are starting to question him. But he's got time. We're not one of those clubs that will just sack him after 5 or 6 poor results. He will get the time. but he is building pressure upon himself with these performances, with certain performances. The Southampton game before the break was better, and I think that got him a bit more credit. But if we take a battering on Friday, take a battering on Wednesday, then questions are going to start coming again, and we're going to be cut adrift. And that's why the questions are going to become. We're already 4 points, I think. If we lose the next 2, that's going to be at least 6 points, you'd guess, already in what will be then still October. So he's fine for now, but there are people starting to question him a little bit.
Do you still wish you had Paul Warne in charge then, Matt? Is he still like a bit of an icon there, or was there bitterness that he left to go to Derby?
Yeah, strange when it was a bitterness because we were 8th when we were left, just to be honest with you. It was very strange. I get Derby's a big pull and everything like that, but it was odd that it got us in such a good position and then buggered off. But what I will say is Matt Taylor's is an upgrade on Paul Warne tactically. Matt Taylor's tactics are much, much better. Paul Warne was one of the best man managers we'll probably ever have. He was great with it. You talk to any player that managed under him, they love him. But he was very limited tactically. And Matt Taylor has that, but I'm not sure Matt Taylor's man management is as good as Paul Warne. So Matt Taylor's got to improve parts of his game. He's come to us to progress his career. He wouldn't want to be at Rotherham United all his entire career. So he's got to find a way to get the best out of players, and maybe that's something he lacks that Paul Warne had.
I like Paul Warne. Even though he's a Norwich fan, but I love Paul Warne because of his bobble hats, Matt.
His hats.
He loves a bobble hat. He does love that. Yeah.
That win you had at Portman Road when you beat us 2-0 that midweek game, I thought you were very good in that.
Phenomenal.
That started my I'm never going to a midweek game again rants. Got freezing cold and lost 2-0.
But we were unbeaten. I think we just lost to. Did we lose to Accrington on that Sunday on the
TV? Yeah.
And then we got. You done a number on us massively that night, didn't they? You had Michael Smith. I think was Ladapo playing that night.
Probably, yeah. I think he might have done. Yeah. It was a good one. Getting, especially in League One, getting teams organised, especially at sort of places like Ipswich and places like that, where you just set them up to be difficult, but then just were explosive at times, just explosive at what they did. And Smith's fantastic at League One, but he's not a Championship player. Sheffield Wednesday finding out he's not great at this level, but he's a stunning League One player. And he went to Wednesday, so he could sort of and all.
Got a question in the chat.
I was going to say, mate, is that a record amount? £1 million for a striker for Rotherham? You must be round.
Yeah, we broke his record twice this summer. The 500k for TI and then the £1 million for Nombe. That's why he's under a bit of pressure, because you can't break transfer record twice and be second bottom 4 points adrift. You've got to do better than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben Moore in the chat asks, style of play, is it long ball or short passing?
A mixture. It's more short passing than it was, but we're not going to win the passing stats. You play with Jordan Hugill, so you are going to go direct at times because he is really, really good at hold-up play. We do overdo it at times, because if you isolate Jordan Hugill, it's a waste of time doing it. It's less direct than it has been before. Matt Taylor's trying to progress. There are shoots there of what he's trying to do and trying to move us forward, but it's taking time. And
finally, before I let you go, Matt, and enjoy the rest of your evening, score prediction from yourself for Friday.
2-1 to you guys. Can't see us winning. We can't keep a clean sheet to save us lives, and we don't score many. And you guys score quite a lot, so that's a concern. I will 2-1.
Perfect. All right. Anything else before I let him go? Or
No.
Good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah. And you boys.
Smash it. Cheers, Matt. And Matt's podcast. Matt, give yourself a little plug here.
New York Talk on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you do list podcasts and want to watch. We are available for any Rotherham United needs you may have.
Absolutely. Look after yourself, Matt. Appreciate you coming on.
All the best.
All the best. New York Talk. Go and check it out, people. It's a good listen.
Great name for a pod, that, isn't it?
It is. Hence why the New York. Is this a Gov trap game? Says Mike D. This has got the makings of a trap game.
I don't feel like that to me. No, Matt's gone. It don't feel like that to me particularly. They can't
Matt's gone. Matt was in the waiting room. You were sort of, that's Rotherham.
Well, look, when he lists the injuries as well, Matt, you know that can't keep a clean sheet.
Trap game.
Yeah.
I think Town will dominate the ball. Like he said, isolate Jordan Hugill. I think that takes a big threat away from them. And I think we'll just have, I know the weather, as they say, it could be a leveller because it's going to be filthy.
You're
raining,
obsessed with this weather.
windy. Well, when you look at it, it's going to be 90% raining, 70-mile-an-hour winds, Matt. It could be a great leveler, but I just think Town on the night we're too good a team. We're too well prepared now. McKenna's got them drilled, and I know, like in the past, when we've come back from international breaks under previous managers, we've been real slow out the blocks. I don't think we'll get that Friday. No. We're on the telly. Let's go out there and show the nation what a good football team that we are now.
I agree with that. Yeah, totally agree.
Did everyone read the McKenna interview in the Times? Did you see that?
Very good.
We predicted that, didn't we? Henry Winter comes to watch a game. Suddenly, there's the interview there, and he
6 a.m. he's in. 6 a.m. he's in every morning.
He's like you. Gets in early.
Well, not quite. He's not there at 4 in the morning, is he?
No, that's true. He goes home at 6 though.
Well, true.
I thought it was really good, and like Henry said, he's like really talented guy, genuine guy. So you get people messaged me after I sent them that interview out, and they're going, "Oh my God, let's hope we can keep hold of him." Well, it's not a secret, is it?
Is that the article that said obsessively striving for greatness, or something along those lines?
I think so.
And I said in the WhatsApp, that's what greatness does. It is obsessive.
Oh, yeah, that was.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah,
because that's why people are great. Let me look at Beckham. I don't know if you've seen the Beckham Netflix.
Not yet, but I will be watching it.
But you are the best in the world, the best in what you do, because you're obsessive over becoming the best and the little details, and that's what McKenna is. It's the little details. Look
at Ronaldo, Gov, at his age, and I know he's playing in Saudi now, and he said, but another 2 goals, I think, last night or the night before, Matt, for Portugal. Still wants to be the best, even at his age that he's getting at now. And, we're talking, look, McKenna will... Interesting. The second tier pod, question for you two and in the chat, Ryan, who's on there, this is a massive shout from him. He reckons McKenna will become an elite manager at an elite level.
Yeah,
without a doubt. Yeah. I mean, look, that's easy.
I just think he's got all the ingredients. He's just got all the ingredients at the moment. I mean, look how much, as Henry Winter says in the article, look how he's turned Ipswich Town around from like being nowhere under Evans. Game changer comes in, he comes in. Look at him now. 8 points clear of 8.
Saying that, I was listening to Sacked in the Morning. You say about turning Town around. Sacked in the Morning, a pod on BBC Sounds. They had Mick McCarthy on, and he come out of a great quote. That was when he come to Town. You say about turning teams around. I think Mick's quote was turning around an oil tanker with a paddle.
Yeah. And he did a good job, to be fair, in the first couple of seasons.
He did. But we're in a different level now.
Yeah, we are.
Ben Morin says McKenna is already at an elite level with elite fans.
Well, that's a big shout. I love his picture. Daily.
Yeah, daily. It's now daily. Yeah, love that.
Massive
love that.
Fans.
I mean, look, we'll see this come down the line, but sometimes you can just tell with managers, can't you? First time I ever saw Mourinho, Porto, him running down the touchline at Old Trafford celebrating. He just had something about him. While McKenna isn't that style of character, he's been mentored by him, and I think he's learnt from him, and you can just see that through the patterns of play that we're seeing.
You say that, but with each passing week, there is more and more energy, passion when a goal goes in. Yeah.
If you watch
I do agree with that.
You watch the Preston game.
Yeah.
And he's jumping up and down, jumping into, I think, was it Rene Gilmartin's arms after one of the goals?
Yes. Yeah.
Big lad.
I said to you, like when he came in, because he's cutting his teeth and he was still a bit green. But as time goes, exactly. I called him methodical because he was really methodical. And I said that about him. But now you see it, doesn't it? That every single game there's that little bit more of passion, a little bit more. He's letting a little bit more out, isn't he?
Yeah.
Of his character.
He's only 30. Was he 37?
Yeah.
Mental, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure I said this during the losing streak, but you learn more when you lose, and sometimes you need to get knocked off your feet to learn more about yourself. And I think that losing streak that we went on, or drawing streak, that bad period,
not winning streak,
the not winning streak was great for this football club. And in fact, the best thing when you look back in, even now, you'll think that's the best thing for us because we learned. He learned as a manager, I think, so much from that period of time.
Yeah, I think he did.
Arguably any other time.
He was in deep. He was in deep waters then. He was really in deep waters. I think.
I think we changed the style a little bit. I think we've said it on here before, Gov. we play good football. We can still go a bit more direct as well, Matt. We're not afraid to get the ball forward a bit more quicker. I would say.
Yeah,
that
the
was the problem in
rotation
that middle
changed.
third. That was the problem in the middle
rotation
third of last
changed.
season. Yeah. There was
Oh, yeah.
rotation. There was rotation. It was too slow. And we said, well, I said, we ain't going to get promoted with these tactics. I think we were lucky that the run of fixtures we had after that was like your Forest Greens and the relegation fodder, where you could maybe just trial something a little bit different and it worked. Brilliant.
But it was the back to a bit of old school mentality of you built up this momentum and you don't tweak it, you don't change it, you don't have to make a change because it's a new game, it's a new team. Like towards the end of that season, Rich, that team just picked itself and he allowed it.
Because it was easy, and we'll always hark back to that game at Bristol Rovers that night when you got Chaplin was on the bench, you got Broadhead was on the bench. It was, but then, you are right there, Matt. You did have some kind fixtures, and with the team that we had and the players that we had, we should have been steamrolling teams like Accrington and Forest Green and that. But Martin's right there. The team did pick itself. The team picked itself, and I think I said the other week when we played at Southampton, Gov, when he made them 4 changes, that was probably the first time. Really, in that run of games, over 20 games, that he'd made that many changes. And he probably will this week when you've got Friday, Wednesday, Saturday. There'll be some changes in the team and it'll rotate around a little bit. But he knows what he's doing. He knows, as the song goes,
exactly what we need.
Exactly.
Mike says, go on.
Well, I was going to say, mate, when he arrived, and I know a few Man United season ticket holders, they were going, they were happy to see him gone. I think they felt that his coaching or whatever it was, or his role in the Solskjaer side was kind of hampering United.
One of my mates at work, Matt, big Man U fan. But I said, the problems at Man United run a lot deeper than just Kieran McKenna as a coach. Look at your football club from top to bottom, how it is now. United are nothing near what they used to be. And blaming him.
Yeah.
Look, don't forget that when Kieran McKenna was, I think, was he assistant manager? They did actually finish, was it second or third in the Premier League?
Second,
yeah.
Was that
Yeah.
I think it was second, wasn't it?
So
he keeps carrying on this trajectory. He'll be going back to Old Trafford as gaffer in a few years. I'm pretty
certainly
certain.
will. Mike says he's obviously got a sense of humour, seeing him joking around the fans forum. He's really growing as a manager. Chris said we have to enjoy these times with McKenna. We'll look back on this year as incredible when he's in the top echelons of management. Rowett has been relieved of his duties at Millwall, just seen on social media.
I think he's been there a while, him.
Yeah, just seen that on social media. And Lee's also posted it in the chat.
Yeah, one of my mates has messaged me. Mutually agreed to part company.
Mutually agreed, is it?
Yeah.
Sling your hook.
He's done a good job. He's done a good job there for Millwall, Gary Rowett.
Who goes there then? Who will go to Millwall?
You've got to be
a return for Mick.
Certain type of person you got to go there, and you really. Do you remember when they had Steve Lomas, Matt? West Ham player.
West Ham legend.
They appointed him. Not a great appointment that day, was it?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
No.
So you got to think someone's in the mix there for him to go just before the international.
Warnock.
break. That was my dream. We'll never see Neil Warnock at Pullman Road. That would be my dream. That would love that.
Well, you might see him in a
Oh,
couple of weeks.
Hey, the Cowleys at Millwall.
Cowleys at Lincoln, more like.
Cows at Lincoln, I would say.
Yeah, a return.
I have got a Neil Warnock thing. I'm going to show you if I can find it.
Quickly.
I'll show it in a minute. I'm just looking for it on
All
my
right.
phone.
Well, I'll go to my lineup for this weekend, and you two can tell me if I'm right or wrong. I have gone for Hutchinson to replace Burns. So the team is Halavki, Williams, Wolfenden, Burgess, Davis. I've gone for Taylor because Matt's played last night, and I just think it might be a stretch to get him. I know they played it at the Brentford Stadium, but still played last night.
Can we see this? Soccer Slammers. Can we see this?
No.
Soccer Slammers. What's this?
Turn your brightness down on your screen. Sir.
I'll send it to you. It's a Soccer Slammers, and it's Neil Warnock as a wrestler.
Oh, nice.
I do want to see that.
Yeah,
I'll send it to you on the WhatsApp group, and then you can maybe share it on the screen.
So Taylor and Morsey, Hutchinson, Chaplin, Broadhead, Hurst. What do you think? What are your thoughts, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I think the team's kind of picking itself a little bit here. I mean, look, Williams was fantastic in the game against Preston. Wolfenden, Burgess, yeah. Now, I was kind of half cheering Australia for Burgess and William go sitting on the bench. Did anyone wince when that Gallagher, dirty sod, trod on Burgess's leg? That was a dirty tackle, man. Well, he should have got a card for that.
It was given as a foul by Burgess.
It was.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Football in 2023. But do you think Maz can play last night, 45 or however long it was?
Yeah, I think
For Oz and start
Yeah, I think
Friday,
so.
or do you think
Not for
Taylor
me.
Rich starts
Taylor,
Friday?
I think because we're
Taylor
playing
was no great
Friday,
shakes at Southampton, was he, when he started away? He was no great shakes there particularly.
but I think if we'd have been playing Saturday, I think
Agreed.
you'd had that extra day's recovery because we're playing Friday. And I know he's only playing at Brentford, and the travelling, but he'd have only got back probably to Ipswich this morning. Probably did do a lot of training. He'll probably train tomorrow. And I
he
think
could do a travel, haven't they?
Maybe train and then travel up in the afternoon.
Yeah,
Yeah, probably. And then when you look at, it's a 3-game week as well. So, and you've got that extra day's recovery until Wednesday as well, because we're playing on Wednesday next week against Bristol. I think, I'll go with Gov. I think Jack Taylor and Morsey.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm not disappointed by that. I think Jack Taylor's great. Just Luongo's been superb, but we'll have to wait. Everyone keeps writing Luongo off as having biscuit. Was it biscuit legs or something? He's doing all right. He's lasting the pace. My only concern is Taylor wasn't that great when he started away at Southampton. Was fairly anonymous. Well, he did put in some good tackles, to be fair to him. Luongo just offers you a little bit more, but of course Luongo's an international player and been around the block.
Absolutely.
Taylor's still learning his play, isn't he?
And if I keep Taylor's name in there long enough,
it's going to come true.
It's going to come
and
through.
I think to be fair to Taylor, when he played at Southampton, they had Premier League players. Rotherham have got, no disrespect to them, they've got League One players, some of them in this team. So Jack Taylor at Rotherham away, get him in there.
A shout. Yeah.
Get him in there. He'll smash one in with that wind. 25-yard screamer. Top bins. There you go.
Frank says, Massimo,
Well,
had he not travelled far, we were playing in Brentford. I think he might start, but subbed after half time. Pris says Morsey and Luongo for Bristol and Plymouth.
Yep, agreed.
Not a bad shout again there.
That England game against Australia.
Very true, Colin. I am not.
That England game against Australia, we had that lad from Chelsea played left back. He was no better than Davis, was he? Was it Colwell? Was it Colwell?
Didn't that game kind of show you that you don't need to pick necessarily players in the Premier League? Like Australia have got Burgess at centre half, and for large periods they were out playing England for large periods. And it was like,
but that's what I don't understand. Look, I know some of the I know the other home nations pick championship players, Broadhead and Burns being one for Wales. I don't see why someone who's obviously playing really well in form with a good team playing good football can't get a shout with England.
Because it's tough enough.
Someone who's playing, ahead of someone who's just in there because he plays Premier League football.
Because it's tough enough being an England manager when you get into semi-finals and getting knocked out, and still people calling you Slothgate. If you were to pick players outside the Premier League and have a hiccup, you'd never survive it. The toughest one for me, gentlemen, before we move on to score predictions, was the right-hand side, because I put Hutchinson in the end, but I easily could have said Marcus Harness, who has been in such phenomenal form that it feels almost just really like I've robbed Marcus.
But he normally plays on the left, doesn't he? He plays that left side.
He does, but not having him in that 11 at the moment, Rich, feels like I've robbed him a little bit because he's phenomenal form.
He's been on fire, but then you say you've got a 3-game week, Gov. There'll be times and minutes that he will get. He'll probably get a game. Might play him at Bristol on Wednesday night. You don't know, but Harness is one who he was another one. He was written off. When Edwards was going out the door to Oxford, why is it not Marcus Harness? We should be keeping Carl Edwards. Look, he's showed he's got fit, I think, Matt, because I still think, look, I'm no medical expert, but did he come back a little bit too quickly from that injury? You want to be involved. Want to be involved. It's a promotion season. You want to get a bit of the action.
I mean, you had his name on the black shirt, didn't you? And then he sort of disappeared from the picture.
I like Harness. I think he's a good player, and he's got a lot to offer. And I don't see him on the right-hand side, though, Gov. Not really. But then...
He's shown utility things before, though, hasn't he? Like, he's played centre mid before.
Yeah, he did.
So, I don't know. But you don't really want players suddenly being able to play loads of positions, because then suddenly you turn into Freddie Sears. You're a master of none of them.
Is he at Dagenham now? Dagenham and Redbridge.
I don't know where he is. No,
Daggers. They got knocked out, didn't they, by Bracknell?
Yeah,
1-0.
Would you like to have seen the Depot if he'd been fit playing on Friday?
No.
No.
Fair enough. I just want more
Hurst
goals
is-
from Hurst. Am I
Velcro's-
being stupid here? I want more goals from Hurst.
Velcro's number one, isn't he?
Of course he is.
It's
Go on,
all very
Velcro.
well running around.
Go on,
Like,
Velcro.
Chef Kikuchi used to chase litter, didn't he? In the wind, Roll said. But he also, which is Hurst does superbly. But he also scored you lots of goals. I don't know. I just want more goals from Hurst, really. But
I do
maybe-
want more goals, yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
being, I just want more from the envelope. But that is suddenly us sitting in second and 8 clear of third. But there you go.
but his ability to be a Velcro is what you
He
need
should
on
have
a
scored
away
against
game.
Preston, shouldn't he? That chance in the first half.
Yeah, he should have done.
That was a really easy opportunity. I was off my seat celebrating already. But these are minor quibbles, by the way, everybody.
And he's an ex-Rotherham loanee.
Yes, yes,
Mm.
that's very true.
So
Yeah,
Did
absolutely.
McKenna say that Twanzebe will make his debut in the next couple of weeks? Are we thinking the Fulham game?
We always have done, haven't we? We've always had that
Yeah.
sort of
And
penciled in.
Important to get time there as well.
played 60 minutes, didn't they? Did they have a 60-minute friendly?
You said
in
this
the
would happen,
break.
didn't you?
Yeah.
Mm.
I think he's one who I think it was Mike D or Lewis in the Discord was talking about him, and you've just got to be careful with him because he is a good player, but he's literally
very good.
played no football, has he?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Was it
Well-
3 games on loan at Stoke? Was it last season?
Yeah.
So
Are we talking about Twanzebe or Luongo here? That's not exactly the
Twanzebe.
conversation we had, wasn't
but
it?
you need to treat him a little bit, Matt, with like kid gloves a little bit at the minute. And
The same risk. I think it's the
looking
same
ahead,
risk.
looking ahead to January, I'd be trying to get him up to speed by then because I think Burgess goes away. I think he goes away with Australia to the Asia
Good
Cup.
shout. Yeah.
So
Good shout.
you need him fit. You need Fridge fit. Even Elkan Baggett, I see he missed the Indonesian game. He's just got a little knock.
So he'll go Asia Cup as well.
But it'd be interesting to see what happens in January because
Yeah. Agreed, yeah.
Money,
Yeah.
money, money, money. Get the check. They'll find that checkbook all of a
but
sudden.
Cameron Burgess is, for me, I didn't think he
No.
I didn't think he'd
Me
cut it
neither.
at this level. He is. When you see him playing at Wembley
Yes,
the other night, smashing Ollie Watkins after 20 seconds, have some of that.
I loved it.
I mean, I think, and Colin said this to me today, he's probably, I know everyone's improved under Kieran, I think he's probably the most improved player.
Yeah,
under
really
McKenna.
good. I agree. Yeah. I totally agree. I just wanted to shoot him last season, the mistakes he was making and costing us points. But I think it's fantastic. And, I was half cheering Australia on for him. I think it's great.
But then you look, if you look back, do you remember when we got to the Premier League, Matt, and there was players in that team who you thought would not be able to play in the Premier League? Jermaine Wright, Mark Venus, players like that who you thought, no, there's no way they can. They lifted their levels, didn't they?
Burley
And they've
Fruit,
all lifted their,
Randall.
they've all lifted
Randall.
their levels. Yeah, they've all
Burley
lifted
Fruit,
their
Randall.
levels. The whole squad, haven't they, this season?
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah,
I'd like to just sign a modern day equivalent of Haridason, some kind of marauding Scandinavian.
Gov, tell us a story. You were down the drive there, weren't you? When
I was
that
there
was
the
it. I
day he
remember
was
that.
unveiled. We were getting it's when you could go down to the main drive to get the season tickets. And we were down there getting them sorted out because they hadn't come through the post as per standard usual. And my dad was fretting. And there was Sean Fryers, I think it was, walking up with his boots.
yeah,
and we,
Sean
Friars.
Yeah,
and we said to him, what's going on around there? And he went, oh, there's a new signing being unveiled. So we just walked through, stood on the pitch and watched George Burley, Herman Ryderson.
This was the days before social media
was
because
galore.
now
Yeah.
you wouldn't get anywhere near,
Yeah,
would you?
Instagram, wouldn't it?
Now you've
Well,
got people. Now you've got people taking snaps from the travel lodge.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah,
backs
no, we
onto
were,
the ground. Oh look, I see someone, and you've got a grainy picture that you've got no idea who it is.
literally stood from where we stand at the statue apart from each other,
Wow.
from George and Herman and the press.
Herman.
And then, but for what, 10 years earlier, at the exact same spot, my dad and me stood watched Klaus Thompson get unveiled.
Thompson.
We
We should have known though. We should have known when Herman signed that relegation was on the cards because he didn't have a great record.
Relegated
did he?
everywhere. Yeah. He was
Yeah.
great. Though. I loved Herman. Brilliant.
He was great.
Brilliant. He had a
was
diet.
great.
He said he was he used to eat
Marauding.
a diet of puffins.
That was
He
it.
used to eat. I loved it.
I always remember that goal. I always remember that goal at Southampton at the Dell when he was marauding down that left-hand side and popping it in for Marcus Stewart to
Yeah.
get the second goal of his hat trick.
Yeah, and the dive into the North Stand wasn't even his goal, was it? Birchall's it was given.
I will say, I think it was Sean
Man.
Fry's a reserve player. I think I can't be.
He never played for the first team, did he?
Forever a reserve player. Yeah, forever a reserve.
It was definitely a reserve player.
Yeah.
What about Crook, says Colin. Anyway, score predictions for the weekend, for a Friday. Matt?
Yeah, I think well, I hope, because I haven't got a crystal ball, but I hope we continue on this momentum and, you know, it put even more points between us and third place and breathe down Leicester's neck. I think Matt from the pod there earlier said, you know, they can't keep a clean sheet and they can't score goals. So I think this is probably tailor-made for Town. I think 2-0. A 2-0 win for us, I think.
2-0. Richard Moss?
Yeah, look, it all points to a Town win. When you see what Matt said, injuries, can't keep a clean sheet. I'm going to go really positive because we haven't been scoring many goals away, have we? We've been nicking them 1-0 wins. I think this is going to be the time when we're going to turn it around, and we're free scoring at Portman Road. Rotherham 1, Ipswich Town 4.
Oh my God. At the end of Matt Taylor, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got that lovely score prediction. We've got 3-1 from Colin, 3-1 from Adi, 5-1 from Ben Moore. Kev says 3-1, Kel says 3-0, Lee says 2-1. ITFC, so it could be 11 points clear of third on Friday.
That would be amazing.
This is madness.
Might be 2-4. Gary says 3-0 Ipswich. Lots of positivity. Whether you're watching live or on, catch up, get your score prediction and let us know your expected lineups. We are live post-game, as always, for the most talked about ITFC post-game fan reaction show. I am live with a host of people, of whom I can't tell you because I've forgotten just exactly who's on with me.
Well, if you do send me the link, I might pop in. I might pop in from...
he might pop in. He won't pop in.
Night.
Milk Tray Man will definitely be there. That I can tell you. Brilliant. So there we go. We've got one.
Guess who I'm meeting for a beer pre-match on Friday?
Herman Horizon.
Well, I don't think Herman will be there. If he was, I'd actually buy him a beer. I'm meeting up with Leaf's I'm meeting up with Leaf's brother.
Oh, look at this.
Have a cheeky beer. He messaged me saying, "Are you at the game? Getting the train from Newcastle." So I think there's like a social, like working men's club.
Actually,
Rotherham. That's the away pub. But it's definitely a big coat and a hat sort of Friday night to keep out the rain.
Yeah.
You watch it in the dry, boys. You watch it in the dry. You keep
from the sofa.
Too, yeah.
Oh, I will. Don't worry.
With the McGregor beers.
With the and the Sky Sports. Anyway, we're done for this evening. That is the man that be getting very well on Friday night. He is the media mogul, Matthew Phillips. I'm the Gov. This is Talking Town. Only 100 away from 5,000. So hit the subscribe button and join us. The platform that's for the fans.
Come on, Norwich fans. You can hit subscribe as well if you're in the chat.
Always welcome to improve their
football
knowledge. Good night.